All right, speaking about running backs here, Lonte, let's get to running backs if you have any here for the season long. What do you got?
Yeah, I got one, just a small. It's probably like a maybe like a quarter of a unit play. I like Breece Hall over 5.5 total touchdowns. That's at plus
Okay.
money. I think it's plus 115. But shop around. I think you can find maybe a little bit better. But the reason I do like this, and it kind of can work both ways. So anybody who's out there who's saying, Justin Fields in the backfield with him, he could take a lot of those touchdowns, which is true. But I'm looking at it from this aspect of he's going to get a lot more lighter boxes. A lot of that zone read is going to be to his benefit because of Justin Fields' the threat of his legs. And then you have the play action aspect across that. Now, I don't think they'll be doing a ton of throwing. That's another part of the handicap. And you got Allen in the backfield as well, but he'll be more of a goal line back. So he had in his 3 years, he had 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, and 5 touchdowns. So he's knocking on the door back to back times, and he was banged up a lot of the past 2 years. And you can see that their offensive line it has to improve from what they had. They got a little bit more. Like I said, it's a complete scheme change with Justin Fields coming in. So I do think the RPO game will benefit him and Justin Fields. So I like Breece Hall 5.5 total rushing touchdowns. Now, if you want to go with the receiving option and combine both, I like that as well. But I think strictly just off rushing alone because of the scheme change and their ability to get a little bit better up front as far as pass block. I mean, as far as run blocking goes, I think he can go. I think he can score 6 touchdowns here. So let's go with Breece Hall over 5.5 touchdowns score.
Well, I'll root for your touchdowns because I took the under on his rushing yards
Okay,
for
that's cool.
this
Hey, we
episode
can both
here.
hit that. We can both hit that.
Yeah, so you mentioned a lot of things for Brees Hall, and I think a lot of it also has to do with Justin Fields being in the backfield, or I should say at the quarterback position for this Jets team. And I think offensively they do take a step back this season because I need Justin Fields. I need to see before I can believe in him. And it's the fact that also, hey, if this team, which I feel like are going to be trailing in a lot of the games this season, you're not going to really have that opportunity to run the football. You take a look at last season, Aaron Rodgers was still able to throw for, I believe it was close to 4,000 yards last year. Yeah, 38.97 for this Jets team. And Breece Hall, you talked about the numbers for his touchdowns. Yes, he did get over this number last season as far as rushing yards at 876. He got 994 in 2023. But it's also the fact that you also have Justin Fields in the backfield, which I feel like he's at his best when he's using his ability to run the football as well. But now the counter argument was what you mentioned is that could open up opportunities for a guy like Brees Hall because you have to account for the running ability of Justin Fields there. So, and I think that could unlock the passing game a little bit more for this Jets offense. But Brees Hall, I think there was a lot of hype coming around him coming out of college. I believe it was out of Iowa State, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Lonte, about him coming out from Iowa State. But I was high on him a couple years ago. He just hasn't really panned out. This number does seem a little high to me based on what I've seen from the Jets this pre or training camp. I think a lot of the attention, of course, is going to be a guy like Garrett Wilson. I don't think Justin Fields finished the entirety of the season, which I think that at that point, which my main concern is that is this team going to have enough leads in games where they're just able to turn around and run the football with Brees Hall? I don't think so.
That's a good point.
Um, but last year, look, 209 attempts, 876 rushing yards. He did have 5 touchdowns, 8 total, like you mentioned. I think where Brees Hall is really effective is in the passing game. So I think that if you need those Charlie checkdowns and screen passes going to a guy like Brees Hall, I think that's going to be very effective. But I'll be rooting for him at least to not have success on the in the running game as far as getting yards there. But like you mentioned, maybe he does have a big. You're getting touchdowns, whether it's in the red zone or within the 5 yard line, 3 yard line of their opponent and getting into the end zone. But I don't think the yardage is going to be there. And a lot. And one more point that you mentioned is we expect the offensive line to be better, but is it going to be better? I'm not sure. So for all those reasons, I will take the under on Brees Hall's rushing yard. That's going to be at 850.5 this
Yeah.
upcoming season here, Lonte.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that because I looked at it in that sense as well. I never looked at the yardage that was beyond that was beyond my handicap, and I thought that the touchdowns was a little bit better. And I was trying to find a combined. I really wanted to combine touchdowns, but I couldn't find it anywhere that was like widely available for people to get down on it. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the offensive line does have to prove it, but I just think that the scheme change will be a little bit better and helping them kind of get off their blocks and get upfield. A lot less pass blocking and a lot more run blocking. And I know a lot of the offensive linemen prefer to run block than pass block because it's just mano a mano. It's really no scheme or anything that you just running straight. I mean, you're just hitting the guy in front of you, trying to push him out of the way. So I agree with you on the under. I mean, the beauty of this is he can run for 500 yards and have 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.